In example one, I'm going to show you how to use a calculator to find mean. Okay, so we do have a couple of formulas that we can use in order to find the mean of a data set. However, in this course, we'll be showing how to use the calculator in order to do it. So the first thing we begin with is, okay, we need to enter the data set for travel time to Eastfield College. So we have students from 1 through 7 that we have selected, and we recorded their times for this data set. So the first thing we're interested in is finding the population mean. Find the population mean. So this data set, let's assume 7 students make up the population, and we'd like to find its mean or average. We need to plug in the data first into the calculator. So just like before, we'll go to Stat and we'll go to Edit. And now that we have the previous data set in the calculator, I do want to show you some things on how to delete your data set. Sometimes calculator will actually delete more than just your data set. In order to safely delete, what you'll do is you'll hit up on your arrow key. Okay, that'll highlight your L1 right here. You hit clear, okay, and then enter, and that's going to safely delete your data set. What sometimes ends up happening is if suppose we have some data set, right? So we have data set in L1, but we're interested in clearing the data set. If you actually go up and instead of clear enter, say we hit delete, what ends up happening is L1, yeah, the data's gone. It's actually the whole thing is gone. L1 included. So now our data set begins at L2. And if you hit delete on, for example, this one, notice how L4 just completely goes away. And sometimes we make the mistake of doing that whenever we want to clear a data set. So in order to fix that, you need to go into the memory and reset your calculator. And let me show you how to do so. Hit second and then plus, okay? That's going to get you to the memory of the calculator, and I want you to go to number 7, okay? You want to delete all RAM, so we'll hit 1, and it's going to ask, are you sure you want to clear your calculator? We say yes, and then that clears the calculator memory. So what happens is it resets back to its default. So when we go back to stat edit, we'll see L1, L2, and L3, and so forth. For this example, let's go ahead and enter. We want to enter the travel time to Eastfield College. Okay, so 23 minutes. It takes someone 36 minutes. Let's continue. 18. A couple of students live pretty close, 5 and 6 minutes. And then finally, someone way out at 43 minutes. Okay. And just like before, we do want to reset back to the home screen. So we're going to do second mode so the calculator doesn't get confused on how to do some other functions using the calculator. But we are ready to finally find the mean. What you'll do is you'll do stat, calc. Okay, so now we'll go to calc and then one var stats. One var stats will be used to find mean. So when you hit enter, okay, you'll see this, and it'll ask where for your data. What data? Where is your data in the calculator? Here we're in L1. Leave frequency list by default, and then hit calculate. When you hit calculate, notice that we have an X bar right here. It says here X bar is equal to 22. Now, here, this X bar right here in the handout shows X bar means sample mean. Here in this question for number 1, it says find population mean. The calculator should actually say, and I wish it did, MEAN equals 22, because that mean it's up to us to interpret whether it's population or sample. Because number 1, it's asking to find population mean, we have to interpret X bar equal 22. We have to interpret that as mu equals to 22. Okay, so the population mean is 22. Now notice on number 2, it's asking find the sample mean for students 5, 6, and 7. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to another calculator, the TI-83 Plus, because there are going to be some differences when it comes to the 1var stat, and I want to show both. So layout is the same. Okay, we're still going to go to stat to enter the data. So we'll go to stat, edit. And notice here, now it's asking us to find the sample mean for just students 5, 6, and 7. So it took student 5 minutes to get to Eastfield. It took student 6 minutes. And it took student 7 43 minutes to get to Eastfield College. Okay, so now what we do is we take a subset of the population that's a sample. Okay, now quit to the home screen, and we'd like to do the same function one more time, the 1var stat. Okay, 1var stat will find our average, so we'll go to stat, calc, and then 1var stat. Now, for those of you who have the TI-83, notice your window looks different. It puts the 1var stats on the home screen. It doesn't really tell us what to do with it. Okay, your setup to find your average is to place L1 right here. So we have to hit second and 1 on the keypad in order to run a 1var stat on our data set. So we do second, 1. Okay, and if you're using the TI-84, go ahead and proceed like we did before. But this is your setup if you have the TI-83. When you hit enter, okay, you'll see X bar equals to 18. Okay, now once again, that shouldn't say X bar equals 18. It should actually say MEAN equals 18. It's up to us to determine, is that 18 a population or a sample mean? So for number 2, we did take a subset of the population, only 3 students out of the entire population. By taking a subset, that means we're dealing with a sample, therefore sample mean, X bar equals 18.